Should retail investors be worried if the worst is still to come? Joining us on set, CNBC.com retail and consumer reporter Melissa Repko, and David Marcotte is Senior Vice President with Kantar Retail. He is here as well. And David, let me just start with you, because we also had the Kroger CEO today saying consumers are starting to act already like we're in recession. What do you think is going on here?
I think basically the overall media message coming out is that there is going to be a tightening in spending. And on the consumer side, they keep running into that one item that sticks in their head that indicates inflation and also recession, like right now, eggs. For some reason, which I can't imagine, eggs is the big item. So that's what they're benchmarking against. This has an odd influence. I've always found food inflation has an odd influence on people buying non-food. So once they see food inflation on a daily basis, they start thinking that it's seeing elsewhere, which is really not the case. Not at the moment.
Right. Melissa, what would you add to that? I mean, are there inconsistencies or consistencies as we kind of work through these results?
Really across the board, I'm hearing from just about every retailer, they're seeing people focus on needs versus wants. And so they're kind of dusting off a playbook they haven't had to use in a while, which is how do you drum up sales during a period that's slower? They got used to these huge gains. And so one of the tools they often pull is promotions. And so we saw a ton of that over the holiday season. And that's really something that investors are paying attention to. It's showing up in compressed margins for a lot of companies. And that's part of the reason why Macy's stock is up today, because it really defied the odds and had somewhat hit margins, but not as bad as the street expected. And it said, we think we'll be in a better position going into next year. We're not going to be overly promotional. We're going to be very strategic and more targeted in those promotions rather than just marking everything down across the board.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at it, and maybe, David, this is something that we talk about a little bit more often with regard to the way that strategies differ. If you take a look at the situation with Best Buy, speaking of, Melissa talked about a playbook that hasn't been used in a while. Best Buy was the beneficiary in a big way during the virus pandemic when people went out and bought laptops and tablets and TVs and video game consoles in droves. Those are tough comparisons to go benchmark against this time around. So when Corey Berry, the CEO, talks about these macro headwinds, how much longer does it take to abate? Do we just have to wait a year for the comps to get easier, so to speak, so that by 2024 things look better?
I think the most impressive thing I saw in the Best Buy results was the uptick in services. Now, services is far and away more margin beneficial than just about anything else you sell. And Best Buy is a case in point. Now, during the pandemic, they made a lot of money in terms of consumer electronics. They made more money as the pandemic was going on and the housing was going up with appliances. Appliance was a huge part of their boost. Now they're kind of in between both of them, and they're going to have to be cooling until they see the next surge. I think basically what they're saying is saying that towards the end of this year really does have alignment. I'm still seeing a lot of strength in regards to home goods and across the vendors. So that is possible for them to come back on that a little sooner than they're expecting.
David, do you think the strength in home goods is because of the Bed Bath effect that our analyst yesterday spoke of, that they're just redistributing that market share? Or is it because there's going to be persistently higher demand from all the new homeowners?
I think there's more demand, A. I think B, I think the part most people miss here is the rental market is up. But more importantly, they're still building multi-residence homes at a pretty good clip. So even though the new home market is down, the new multi-resident home construction is up. And that means appliances in each and every case. Even though it might be appliances at a manufacturer or a business-to-business level, it's still going to be appliances. It's still going to be that type of thing. The other side of this, and this is where the services side, this is something that Best Buy has been trying to establish for years. I think they finally did cross that threshold of being able to offer complex support for products in the home, which there clearly is a need for, and I think they're finally tapping it.